So, what if the most important idea in a faith wasn't a rule or a story, but a mystery? Today, we're going to dig into a powerful concept from the 17th century thinker John Owen, what he called the single most glorious foundational idea in all of Christianity.
Let's just start with the big question Owen was wrestling with. What is the single most important idea in the Christian faith? I mean, is it a moral teaching, a specific historical event, a promise about the future? For Owen, the answer was something much, much bigger.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. What Owen is saying here is pretty wild. He's arguing that the absolute core of Christianity isn't just a miracle, it's something that goes beyond miracles. It's in a completely different league, an idea so massive it stands above even the most incredible things we could imagine. All right, so to really get our heads around this, we first need to understand what Owen meant when he put this profound, almost unbelievable mystery right at the center of everything.
Here's Owen's main point in a nutshell. The person of Jesus Christ, this unique union of God and man, is the greatest possible expression of divine wisdom. For him, it's not just a part of the religion. It is the absolute, unshakable foundation that everything else is built on. But what is this great mystery he keeps talking about? Well, it all comes down to one incredible concept: the incarnation. This right here is the heart of Owen's entire argument. The incarnation isn't about God just looking human or wearing human costume. It's about uniting two totally different natures, divine and human, into one single person. Think about that. Not two separate beings working together, but one person who is, at the same time, 100% God and 100% man.
And this is where it gets really mind-bending. Owen just lays out these opposites to show you how insane this concept is. You've got the eternal, the timeless entering into time. You have the infinite becoming finite, the immortal becoming mortal, the Word that was God also being made flesh. For Owen, this paradox is the whole point. It's this amazing expression of divine wisdom that you can only stand in awe of. And to really capture this sense of wonder, Owen himself points back to this ancient prophecy from Isaiah. The very idea that the mighty God could be a child born. I mean, that's the definition of something that logic just can't handle. It's something you're just meant to marvel at.
So this begs a pretty big question, right? Why was Owen so insistent that this mystery was the only true foundation for religion? What was wrong with the foundations that came before?
See, Owen's point was that before Christ, humanity's relationship with God was kind of built on shaky ground. These earlier foundations were good, they were given by God, but they had a fatal flaw. They were temporary, they could be broken.
Owen saw this clear progression through history. First, he had what he called a religion of nature, based on creation itself. But that could fall apart. Then you get the religion of law and promise, which was hugely important, but it was always pointing to something in the future. It was like a shadow of the real thing. It was only the religion of Christ, in his view, that finally provided a permanent rock, because in him, human nature itself was locked into an eternal union with the divine.
And for Owen, this was the game changer. In this union, he saw a relationship that could never, ever be broken again. Because human nature was now permanently joined to the Son of God, the whole foundation of faith was finally secure. It was safe from ruin forever.
Okay, so if this mystery is so paradoxical and huge, how on earth is anyone supposed to get it? This question brings us to a really interesting tension Owen explored: the clash between our limited human reason and this massive divine mystery. And this is where Owen really draws a line in the sand. He argues against any attempt to shrink this mystery down into something our brains can neatly solve. He's basically saying, if you try to figure it out with pure logic, you're missing the entire point. This is where faith comes in. Owen breaks it down into two different ways of knowing. You've got reason, which is great, but it's limited to what it can comprehend. It wants to measure things, to make them fit. But then you have faith, and faith is designed to embrace the incomprehensible. It doesn't try to measure, it elevates. It takes what's beyond us and uses it to transform us, to make our minds more spiritual. This is Owen's take on that famous verse from the book of Hebrews. For him, faith isn't just a blind guess. It's a different kind of evidence. It's a way of seeing the reality of things that are invisible to our eyes and beyond the reach of our logic. It's the right tool for this specific job. So, what's the point of all this, really?
Is it just some complicated theological exercise? For Owen, the answer was a huge no. The real power of this mystery is what it does to you. It's about its practical, life-changing impact.
This is the real so what of Owen's whole argument. He insists that thinking about the person of Christ isn't just about having deep thoughts. It's an act that has this profound, transformative power on a believer, literally from the inside out. And the effects Owen talks about are, well, they're pretty incredible. He believed that really meditating on this brings deep peace to your conscience. It makes your mind more noble, more spiritual, and here's the big one. It actually transforms you, slowly, into the image of God. For Owen, engaging with this mystery is the closest you can get to heaven while you're still on earth, and it gives your faith a foundation that no argument or doubt can ever really shake.
And this whole idea of transformation is summed up beautifully in a biblical passage Owen loved to use. The idea is that by beholding, by really looking at and contemplating this great mystery, we are changed. And it's not an overnight thing. It's a process, moving from glory to glory, becoming more and more like the thing we're focused on.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. John Owen was writing this stuff back in the 17th century, but his central idea is a real challenge for us today. In our world, a world that runs on data, on proof, on things we can measure, what's the role of a profound, unmeasurable mystery in our own search for meaning?